I'm holding in my hands what is a pretty rare commodity, fresh pig's blood from my own pigs. It wasn't easy to get. It took a lot of effort to bleed the pigs and catch the blood in pans and then get it sanitarily put into this bucket from each of the 2 hogs, and this is 2 pigs' bloods worth. Not quite 2 liters was all we were able to catch. Nevertheless, it's a very precious commodity, and one that takes quite a bit of effort to keep going, because you have to constantly stir it to prevent strings from forming as it clots. With a few simple ingredients, we're going to turn this fresh pig's blood into one of my absolute favorite breakfast treats. British style blood sausage. Made a version of the sausage that I loved when I lived in Ireland and England. One of the things you must do with the fresh blood is, once you get it back to the kitchen, either from the slaughterhouse, the butcher's, or the farmyard, is to sieve it carefully to remove any clots, large clots that may have formed, and to separate out the thin, stringy clots and any other bits of flesh or anything else that have gotten into the blood. And once it's sieved, you can go ahead and start adding your spice mixture. I've got a combination of mace, salt, lots of freshly cracked black pepper, and coriander in here. You can add that into the blood and stir it to dissolve and mix the spices all in. Finally, we're going to add in our blood to our prepared mixture, and last but not least, stir in some cooked, drained, and chilled pearl barley. After double knotting the one end of the intestine, it's always a good idea to check if there's leaks. I think that one will work. I've cut these into roughly 18-inch lengths, about 40 centimeters, just so that they'll fit in my pan and make a nice sized unit. Now I'm using the largest size hog intestine available, and they're about 42 centimeters wide when they're fully filled. Sometimes they're larger. Typically blood sausage is made in what are known as beef middles or beef intestines, which are very much larger. I just could not get them, so I'm making do with what I have, and I think they'll be just fine size doing it this way. I've attached a funnel to the intestine, and then you just slowly try and fill and ladle it in there. It's going to be a messy business, and the reason I'm doing it in a tray is so that if one of these casings breaks, I don't end up with blood sausage mixture all over the kitchen. I'm using a chopstick to help force the material down into the sausage casing. Get it into the mouth of the funnel. The trick is not to overfill the sausages, the casing, so we don't want any bursting. And then, using the string that I tied one end up with, I come around and tie the other end, making sure there's plenty of room for expansion inside the casing of the mixture. Blood sausage or black pudding needs to be blanched in simmering water for about 10 minutes to solidify it and cook it. So I've got some water that I brought up to a simmer, and I'm just going to splash a little cold water on the surface just to make sure that it's not too much of a simmer. I've got my blood sausage. I'm going to gently lower it into the simmering liquid and give it about 5 minutes to come up to a simmer again. I'll put 2 in at once. If at any time during that 5 minutes they float to the top, I want to use a very sharp needle and prick them in a few places to make sure they don't burst and leak. And after 5 minutes of gently simmering, poaching, really, I also want to prick them. And if they come out, the liquid that comes out is gray, then they're cooked. If it's still the pink color of the sausage as it went in, then it's not done yet. It needs a little bit more time. Once the Boudin, or blood sausage, ceases to release any or show any color, pink, when you prick it, no other further liquid comes out, they can be removed from the simmering liquid, and they need to be gently placed in some cold water for a minute or two before being removed to cool and dry on a towel. Those too cool, I'm going to be putting some more into poach.